Hello, everybody. What's happening today? Today, we're going to be working on Tier 2 or Chapter 2. There's a lot of stuff in Chapter 2, but we're going to start off with the Tier 2 progression, which means we need to get our Tier 2 resource generator and our mini catalyst so that we can start collecting silver, lead, lapis, nickel, diamond, gold, and zinc. That's going to open up a lot of doors for us, and there are a lot of things in this chapter for us to do. I'd like to ideally today get a couple of things done. I want to get this set up. I would like to get in Project E, at least get the Philosopher's Stone so that we can start using that to get some more saplings set up and some other things like that. And if possible, I might want to get into starting out refined storage because I'd like to have some better storage system overall. But there's so many things to do. Let's just get started on it. The first thing we need to do the Tier 2 progression is getting our resource generator. And so that requires us to have a block of iron, a block of redstone, bone block, compressed sand, coal, copper, and tin. So let's just add all of those to our list. And we will... So I wonder, does this... I think that this means that we're replacing this. I don't think we'll need it anymore anyway, so that's fine. So we're just going to work our way through here. To make a block of tin, we have tin in here, and we can grab 9 of them. Get this stuff out of here. And make the block of tin. We're going to put this stuff away. And the block of tin we'll put in here so that we can learn it. And that is 1 down. Next, we need to do the same thing with copper. So copper is here. And we're going to do 9 of those to craft a copper block. And we'll put this back in, and we'll put that there. That gets rid of the copper. Coal should be pretty simple. We've had coal since the beginning, pretty much. And we want to make sure we keep remembering to learn the things as we craft them, because we don't want to have to make them again once we've made them once. So compressed sand we've already made, so it's already in there. We can get rid of that. Block of iron. I know we have iron ingots, so we can easily make a block of iron. And again, we're going to teach our system how to make that and pull it out. Quick grab, pull out of here, and just slowly keep adding that to our system. We're not really doing too much in EMC generation, but we don't need a lot at the moment. So a block of iron is now finished, so we need a bone block, which I'm pretty sure I already taught the system how to make. I did. And then redstone block, same thing. I think we already learned how to make that when we made the compressed redstone block. And if we grab our resource generator here, we should now be able to craft the Tier 2 resource generator. Oh, we need 2 blocks of sand. That's right. So all we have to do is put this recipe in. We'll get the Tier 2 resource generator. And let's put this right back up here. And we'll work on getting that set up so that we can automate something once we're done here. Let's go like this. Cool. So that gets us the resource generator itself. Now we need to work on the mini catalyst, which I think is going to be a little bit more difficult to do. We have to make a compressed agglomerate. So what is that? That is a Tier 1 agglomerate with the mini catalyst. So we'll put that one here. We already have a mini catalyst. So this is compressed iron blocks, compressed coal blocks, compressed redstone blocks, and compressed copper blocks. And we need to get 8 of those. So let's just go through and see what we need to do that. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted that, but I wanted to be able to see it. So I'm going to need 3 iron blocks per, and I need 8. So I need 24 compressed iron blocks. So let's see how many iron blocks we can actually make. If we take the iron blocks and we compress them again, they're 20,000 AP or EMC a piece. So I don't think we're going to even be able to get 8 of those. That's going to take all of our iron block. We only need 3 because we're going to do it where we actually just make 1 and then we'll EMC it. So we need 3 of those. And then the next thing is we need a compressed iron block or redstone block, which we already have. We need compressed coal blocks. Let's put this in and learn it. And we'll grab 2 of those. And then the last thing was 3 of the compressed copper block. So if we grab the copper blocks, ooh, this is going to be tight. You might be able to do it though. Let's see. So we get that. We teach this to the system. We bring out 1, 2, and 3. And we got our tier 1 agglomerate. Let's put that in. But we need 8 of these. And we only have enough EMC to make 2 of them. So we're going to have to work on figuring out a quick way for us to collect a large amount of EMC, because we're going to need 865,000 approximately, 870,000. We only have 238,000. Right now, the only EMC that we have generating is here. We also have, we could do some with this stuff, but if we pull out these are only worth, actually I guess these are worth 32. So let's grab the wood that we have so far. See how much that gives us. Doesn't make too much of a dent. We have cobblestone we could use, but that's not worth very much. Saplings that we have been growing, these are also, you know, they're a decent amount. This is not going to get us where we need to be. The apples are also EMCable, so let's take those. Let's see what we get when we put all this in. That still only gets us up to 320,000. So we have quite a ways to go before we can move on. Did I ever learn this? I did. Before we can get to the 800,000. So I'm going to take a look around and see what we can do with our current tech level and come up with a plan for getting another 500,000 EMC. So our options at the outset here really are limited. I can't really generate too many things that we could use. I could expand our farms that grow saplings and get more that way. But I was looking at this system. I put this back on with our tier 1 resource generator, and I was just kind of doing some math. So with a tier 1 catalyst, mini catalyst, we get every 100 ticks, this converts to 1 resource capsule. So that's 5 seconds. So I get 1 of these every 5 seconds. I need 5 of them. So it takes 25 seconds for us to craft 3 coal. So we get 3 times 64 coal is 192, and we get that every 25 seconds. Which means right now we're generating just under 8 EMC per second. And we need 500,000 EMC approximately. And at the rate we're going, it's going to take us 65,104 seconds, which is the same as 18 hours. But these things are cheap. The resource generators, the mini catalyst, and the pipes. So my plan is to just expand this out and keep adding to it. The system was doing 7.68 EMC per second. Now we have 64 things running. I also had to increase the amount of fabricators we have. Kind of went overboard. I didn't really feel like doing the math, so I just kept putting them till we got to the point where we were using up this faster than we could produce it. I also added in a bunch more dynamos so that we could get the power that we needed to do that. And we're keeping everything up here. The only thing we haven't done yet is that coal is not coming out as fast as we're producing it. And to fix that, all we're going to do is throw in an upgrade into each of these. So we can take out 8, I think it's 8 per second? Or no, 8 every 15 ticks. So it's a little faster than 8 per second. But that means that we'll be able to get this coal out of here as fast as we can produce it, or probably. Of course, we need to have space to put it in here. So let's do that. But you can see we're already very, very close to where we need to be. Let's do one of these drawers. Now, that's only going to hold 512. That's not going to be any better than the chest. Later on, we'll be able to just dump this stuff straight in to our EMC table and then increase it. But we don't have the ability to do that just yet. We're getting there. So we're already at 653,000, and you can see how quickly this fills back up with coal and produces enough EMC for us to do it. So we have this. We still needed 8 of these. So let's start grabbing the ones that we can and see where we're at. So we need 2 more, which is another 200,000 EMC. And just in the time we were talking there, we made 23,000. So it won't be long, another couple of minutes, and we'll have enough to get the agglomerates we need, and then we'll proceed from there. So I AFK'd a little bit and collected some more EMC from this system. I wanted to briefly use this as an opportunity to talk about something real quick. A lot of times in like factory type games where you have to build like systems that generate stuff, there's pressure that you have to like do the math and make things exact and have the efficiency all up there. And that's fun, don't get me wrong. I enjoy doing that too. But you can also just kind of wing it. So when I built this, I just put down 64 of these because that's how many you could grab at a time. I connected them all up, and then I connected it to a chest, and I connected it here. When I did that, I saw that this was bottlenecking. So I added more of these, which made me realize I didn't have enough power, so I added the power. I didn't do any math to figure out how many of these I need. I'm definitely producing more power, and I have more space in here that I need, but I can now process all 64 of these. And just looking at the system, we don't have a backlog here, and here we're backing up to about here, which means, just a guess from doing that, we're like 2 out of 7, so like basically a third of the way through here. If I were to add another 64, actually another 128 to this system, I could probably process all of them still using this fabricators here. We might get a bottleneck here. We might have to figure some things out. But like we also had so many coming in here that we couldn't get them to go in fast enough. And so I added extra outputs to make it happen. That's what all this is. And it was pretty cool. And normally I would have planned it out better. But this system, literally, everything in here is EMCable. It all came out of the transmutation table. And when we're done and we don't need this anymore, we'll just rip it all out and dump it back in. So like, there's no sense in getting like crazy about making it perfect. That's all I wanted to say about it. I did add in this system here just because we could. Basically, this was filling up, and I thought, well, why not turn it into coal blocks? So I did that. The coal blocks don't give us any extra EMC because a block of coal is 576, whereas coal is 64, which is just, so this is just 9 times that because it uses 9 pieces of coal. But it does allow us to just grab a few stacks and drop them off. And it also gives us more space. So like we can just let this run and it'll completely fill this up. And as you just saw, 3 stacks in a little bit gave us 200 EMC. So if this was completely full, we would get a decent amount of EMC from that. So that's what I did that for. And we got our 8 agglomerates. So if we take those and put them around this, we get a compressed agglomerate. So now, to use this, we need the metal press, and we need a metal press mold plate. So to make one of these, I need 3 steel plates, engineer's wire cutters, and a blueprint. So the steel plates, we just grab our steel, which I chucked all that in here. We need our engineer's hammer. I think that said 3 steel plates, if I remember correctly. So 3 steel plates, and I need to make engineer's wire cutter. So that's iron and treated stick, both of which I can get from our table. So 2 of these, a piece of iron. And now we can make these. And we got to remember to teach our system that. And this is not EMCable, so that's okay. And we have our engineer's workbench here, and I already have the blueprint in. So if I throw this in and this in, I can get what I need. I need a metal press plate, and that goes here. And I don't know if I can just put this on. Where'd you go? Please tell me I didn't just lose that. Oh no, it placed it. So if I do a hopper like this, yeah, there we go. Oh, good thing I caught that. It just flew off the end. Okay, that gave us the tier 2 mini catalysts. So that means we can use that with this. Let's just put it down right here. And we put this in, and it's going to start generating some tier 2 resource capsules for us. So now these are going to be used kind of like we did before. We can use them to craft all the different things here. And once we craft them, we don't really need to craft them again. We can, but we don't need to. We can just craft the... Ooh, did that have an EMC? Yeah, it does. So once we craft one, we can put it in with EMC, and then we can pull them out of here. But we can also use the tier 2 resource generator to get EMC faster. So since these are basically being made at the same speed, so if we look here, we have the tier 2 mini catalyst, and it takes 100 ticks to make these resource capsules instead of the tier 1s. And if we look at the EMC values, what's our highest one here? It's probably going to be the diamond, if I had to guess, because that's 8,000. So 8 of these makes 8,192. So that's 1,024 a piece. So even these ones here that are 864 for 3, that's still only 200. So the diamonds are definitely the best. So if I set up a system like this one, but it's using tier 2 resource generators, and it's using the tier 2 catalyst, and I have basically the same setup, and I teach it to make diamonds and then diamond blocks, that'll really blow up our resource generation. But first I want to use these to generate the first round of each of our things. So let's do that here. So we're going to use this, and we'll make this recipe. And then we'll make this recipe. This one as well. And we're just basically making all the things that we can using the tier 2. Have everything we need for that too. So let's grab that. So we're going to grab coal. And we'll grab clay. And then we're going to need a few more of these. Oops, I didn't mean to take that out. So if we look at this again, we can go and we can make this one. And then the last thing we need to make is diamonds, which should give us the achievement for our first diamonds. And then we also want to teach the system to make each of these things. So let's just put them all in. Zinc. Oh, zinc we can't make using EMC, so we're definitely going to have to keep one of these up and running just for making zinc. That's okay. There we go. And then we also want to do diamond. So let's grab oh, we don't have enough. Time to get some more EMC. Oh, and we have these hoppers that are taking up a bunch of it. So we want to do diamonds. We want to teach to make diamond blocks as well. So we can put that away. We don't need that anymore. For lapis, we have a couple of things we want to do with it. We want to grab some more lapis so we can make lapis blocks. We also want to make some blue dye, even though I think we already did that using a different method. So now we can teach it to make that. Let's grab a stack of each of these things. The reason for that is we want to teach it to make ingots out of each of these. Okay, so now we have our ingots. So we'll teach it to make ingots. We'll grab a stack of ingots out for each one. Then one last time, we're going to teach it to make blocks. Ooh. So then we can put all these in, and now we have taught it how to make all the different things for that. So let's check out our chapter. So chapter 2 progression. We did that to get the block of steel. We finished all of these, and we have finished tier 2 progression, which is excellent. So I did a little more cleanup here, cleaned up the old system, and I started building this. So this looks pretty crazy, but I'm going to show you how this works. So we have all of our tier 1 generators up here. They funnel down into here to fill up this drawer. This drawer feeds into all of these sequential fabricators here, which then feed into these sequential fabricators over here, which then put our coal blocks into this drawer, which means we can grab it, come over here, and just dump it away to get the EMC out of it. This one here is separated, and I kind of cleaned it up. I realized that I can auto pull and push. So I have 2 tier 1 resource generators here making coal that gets fed into here. Well, it makes the tier 1 pieces that get fed into here to make coal. And then that coal is sent out of here. And I made diamond upgrades to make it so we do round robin. That way we get all of these dynamos evenly filled with coal. So if you don't set it to round robin, it'll fill this one up, and then it'll fill this one up, then it'll fill this one up. And that means it'll run out of power while it's powering up. Once it's up and running, it doesn't really matter. It'll top them all off. But round robin means that it'll hit each one in order. So then the power from those come out here to power all of these. These take the resource capsules from above and generate coal and ship it over here. And as you can see, these are each getting them because just the way it's set up, they end up getting distributed evenly, kind of. And we're making a lot of coal blocks. So I got another couple of stacks just while we were describing that, which means we can keep getting a lot of EMC from that side of our farm. This side, we're basically doing the same thing. I have a resource generator here. It's feeding into here to make coal. The coal is going to a Stirling dynamo, which is powering this sequential fabricator, well, these 2. And this one is taking tier 2 resource capsules and making diamonds. It's putting them in here, and then they're getting made into blocks of diamond. And so you can see that there's a lot less going on there, but it's making a lot more EMC. So the blocks of diamond are a much more efficient way to do it. And so basically all I've been doing is I make a new tier, and then that one already has one in. That one does not have one in. Actually, no, there's this one. Yeah, this one needs one. This one needs one. And so we're just going through, and you can see we're adding another layer and working our way up. And then that's increasing the speed that we're getting these which increases the speed we make diamonds, which increases the speed we make blocks of diamond. And that keeps accelerating more and more and more to the point where we can keep making this system go faster. And eventually we'll get to the point where we can just get stacks of diamond blocks. And diamond blocks themselves are worth 73,000 EMC. So if you have 73,000 EMC times a whole stack, we're going to get 4.7 million for every stack that we get if we can get this to go fast enough. We may need to expand the power like we did over here if we get far enough, but because we're using 8 and because they're worth so much more, we don't need nearly as many to keep it up. And this one we could expand more and add more resource generators if we wanted to, so that we could get even more out of this side. But this is going fast enough at the moment that I'm happy with it. And I thought we would clean it up and make it a little nicer, because I figured even though we're not going to use this long term, it'd be nice to have it here. I may move them again a little bit because they kind of started encroaching upon each other. I kind of want to clean it up a little bit, but we'll figure that out as we go and keep things looking nice. But that way, when we add more tiers of our resource generator, we have more space here to do it and things like that. Now, my goal was to do this Philosopher's Stone as my next part of this episode. Looking at it, we have the diamonds, which is what I thought was the hurdle, but we don't have glowstone. And the glowstone requires us to get into doing these nether capsules. And I can craft this because I did make obsidian, so I have the EMC for that. And crying obsidian is just as easy. So we can make the generator, but these capsules, the catalysts, require us to make compressed soul sand and netherrack bricks. So netherrack bricks require us to get netherrack, so we'll have to go through and do that, which isn't hard. The soul sand, I'm not quite sure about yet. The soul sand, obviously we can't use the world transmutation to get it because of the fact that that's what we're trying to get to. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to get soul sand to start, and that's going to be our hurdle. So I think that we're probably going to have to do a little bit of research in here to figure out exactly how we're going to get soul sand. There's probably something I'm not thinking of that is a way to do it, and I will have to look through the quest book to figure that one out. But so for now, I think that getting through the tier 2 resource progression, we finished this entire chapter, which unlocks all of these different types of metal plus diamonds, and even zinc, which will allow us to get into doing some create stuff later on. I think that's pretty good for one episode. So I think we're going to call it here. We'll leave this system running for a while we work on some more stuff and keep building up our EMC. You can see it's going much faster than it was before, and I can usually get a whole nother level done just in a few minutes while I'm working on other things. So this will keep expanding, we'll make it even faster, and we'll get tons and tons of EMC this way until eventually we can automate EMC and we won't need to do that anymore. But hey, we have infinite diamonds, and that's not too shabby. Hope you enjoyed watching today's episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.